Hey YouTube, this is George. Welcome to UFC. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes here and offer a public apology from one Christian to atheists, agnostics, evolutionists. Christians can be, unfortunately, some so-called Christians can be very un-Christian-like. The Latin Christian word derived from the word Christiani, and it means to be Christ-like. But Jesus taught, we find in Matthew 5:44 through 48, "But I say, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. In that way, you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven. For he gives the sunlight to both the evil and the good, and he sends the rain on the just and the unjust alike. If you love those who love you, what reward will you have for that? Even corrupt tax collectors do that much. If you are kind to only your friend, how are you different from everybody else? Even pagans do that. But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." Christ. It really makes me sad when Christians call atheists and agnostics and evolutionists automatically immoral. Like, because they're lacking God, they have absolutely no morality. And that's absolutely ludicrous. The fact is that the Bible even teaches that Gentiles, atheists, are oftentimes more righteous than the Christian believer. Let me give you an example. In Romans chapter 2, 11 through 16, it says that the atheist is better than the Christian or the believer because at least he does what's right in his conscience, what God has written in his heart. But the Christian blasphemes God's name by not doing what he knows is right. So the Christian that knows what to do, doesn't do it, is a lot worse off in God's sight than the atheist that does what's right in his conscience. That man is perfectly true in God's sight. So, just a side note to you Christians, be careful. Be careful. When you're pointing your finger at them, there might be a couple more pointing back at you. I really think that Gandhi had it right when he said, "I like your Christ, but I do not like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ." And that is absolutely true. I think we as Christians can really take a note from that. One of the other things that really makes me sad is when evolutionists or when creationists or Christians call evolutionists, atheists, agnostics stupid, dumb. That's so un-Christian-like. Nowhere in the Bible does it teach that. I've been searching and I can't find that verse anywhere. If somebody's got one, I would like to see it. Christians need to provide a good answer for atheists' questions and concerns. They have a lot of very valid points. They're very intelligent people, and they have very well thought out arguments, and those arguments need to be addressed. And it's actually one of the things that we hope to do here at UFC is to unfold the truth of the gospel and reveal the truth of God's character and some of those misconceptions and misunderstandings, such as Christians are better than everybody else, and that's just not taught in the Bible. Matthew 5:3 says that the first necessity to have a relationship with Christ is to understand your spiritual poverty. Well, to put yourself above anybody else is to automatically exclude yourself from spiritual poverty. So, like I said, message to Christians, be careful, and to atheists, here's a follower of the Jesus of Nazareth that does not believe in how they are acting. Like I said, here at UFC, we hope to answer all of those questions to a logical satisfaction so that we can demonstrate that the faith that we have here is not based off of what we don't see, but what we do see, like forensic science or like history. History is written off the archaeological evidence that we find. History is an open to interpretation based off the archaeological evidence. The archaeological facts are facts. The interpretation of that can vary. And I hope to show that the faith that we have is the same as that which we have in gravity, or forensic science, or any of those things that we don't really quite understand, but we see the evidence for them. To finish off, in the book of James, I would like to say that it says that Christians oftentimes will go to church and they will praise God with their mouth, and then they will go out and they will curse man who is made in the image of God. And in 1 John 4:20, it says, if someone says that I love God and he hates his brother, he is a liar. For the one who does not love his brother, who he has seen, cannot love God, who he has not seen. So again, I would like to say the Bible teaches that we should love our enemies, that we're all equal. And to you atheists and agnostics out there, I would just like to say, from one Christian to the unbelieving world, I'm sorry. We're sorry here at UFC how you've been treated, and we hope to represent the love of Christ. God bless you, and may the Lord shine his face upon you. Funny to me.